As the first light of dawn broke over the jagged peaks, the mountain trapper stirred in his small cabin nestled amongst the tall pines. The sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow on the frost-kissed ground. He emerged from his home, taking a deep breath of the crisp morning air. This was his world, wild and untamed, filled with the songs of chirping birds and the rustle of leaves. Life as a trapper was never easy. Each day was an adventure, requiring skill and patience. He spent his mornings checking his traps, always aware of the rhythms of nature. With keen eyes, he could spot tracks in the snow or hear the faintest sounds of animals nearby. His hands were rough from years of work, but they moved with surprising grace as he set up snares or prepared his gear for the day. The mountains had taught him many lessons about survival. He understood that respect for nature was essential. It provided both challenges and rewards. Often, he would pause to admire a deer leaping gracefully through the trees or listen to the wind whispering secrets among the branches. This connection to the land filled him with a sense of purpose. But today felt different. As he ventured deeper into the wilderness, a feeling of unease settled over him. Little did he know that this dawn would lead him to an unexpected encounter that would change everything. As the trapper ventured further into the woods, a sudden noise pierced the morning silence, drawing his attention. Curiosity piqued, he followed the sound until he stumbled upon a shocking sight. A cowgirl caught in a bear trap, her leg caught tightly in its iron jaws. The rising sun illuminated her face, revealing a mixture of fear and determination as she struggled to free herself. Despite her predicament, the cowgirl's spirit shone through. She gritted her teeth, pulling at the trap with all her might. "Come on, come on," she muttered under her breath, refusing to give in to panic. The trapper watched for a moment, amazed by her bravery. He could see that she was strong-willed. Her fiery resolve was evident even in such a dire situation. Approaching cautiously, he introduced himself in a calm voice. "Hold still. I can help you." The cowgirl's eyes widened as she looked up at him, torn between trust and caution. Yet there was something in his tone that made her feel safe amidst the chaos. "Please," she gasped, looking at him with desperation. "I can't get it off myself." Her voice trembled slightly but held an underlying strength that impressed him. As he knelt beside her and began to assess the trap, he knew this moment would change both of their lives forever. Together they faced an urgent challenge against time and fear in the wild landscape around them. The trapper knelt beside the cowgirl, his heart racing as he assessed the bear trap clamped tightly around her leg. "Okay, just breathe," he said gently, trying to ease her panic. He could see that the metal jaws had cut into her skin, and he knew he had to act quickly but carefully to avoid causing her more pain. With steady hands, he examined the trap, noting its mechanism. He knew that forcing it open too quickly could injure her further. "I'm going to try to release the tension first," he explained, gauging her expression. She nodded, trusting him despite the fear in her eyes. He found a sturdy stick nearby and used it to pry the trap open slightly, relieving the pressure on her leg. "Can you wiggle your foot?" he asked, watching her closely. The cowgirl took a deep breath and tried to move, managing to shift just enough for him to slip the stick under the trap's lever. As he pushed down, the trap sprang open with a loud snap. The cowgirl gasped but quickly pulled her leg free. "You did it!" she exclaimed, tears of relief welling in her eyes. "You're going to be okay," he reassured her, helping her sit up slowly. He wrapped a bandana around her injured leg, applying pressure to stop any bleeding. The mountain air felt electric with tension and hope as they shared a moment of connection, both aware that this was just the beginning of their unexpected journey together. As the trapper finished wrapping her leg, the cowgirl looked up at him, her eyes wide with gratitude. "Thank you so much," she breathed, her voice trembling with relief. Tears of joy threatened to spill over as she realized the danger she had just escaped. The weight of fear lifted from her heart, replaced by a profound sense of appreciation for the stranger who had come to her aid. She took a moment to catch her breath, reflecting on how close she had come to a dire fate. This experience was a stark reminder of the wild's unpredictability and the survival skills she had learned growing up on the ranch. Despite her initial panic, she felt a renewed determination to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The trapper's bravery ignited a spark within her, a shared spirit of resilience that connected them in that instant. "You're really good at this," she said, offering him a shy smile. "I didn't think anyone would find me out here." It was then that she realized he wasn't just a rescuer. He might become a friend as well. After all, they were both navigating the same wilderness, both outsiders in their own ways. With each passing moment, an unexpected bond formed between them, a friendship born from crisis and mutual respect. She felt grateful not only for her safety but also for the chance to connect with someone who understood the wild like she did. As they sat together in the serene beauty of nature, hope blossomed amidst their shared experience. While the trapper and the cowgirl began to forge their new bond, a pair of watchful eyes lingered from a ridge above. The cowgirl's brothers, rugged and stern-looking, crouched behind a cluster of boulders, rifles ready in their grasp. They had been tracking their sister ever since she rode out that morning, keenly aware of the dangers that thrived in the wilderness. As soon as they spotted the bear trap, panic surged through them. The thought of losing her was unbearable, and they had moved swiftly to intervene when they saw a strange man kneeling beside her. Their instincts kicked in. They couldn't allow anyone to harm their sister. With their hearts pounding, the brothers aimed their rifles at the trapper, unsure if he was there to help or to threaten. "Stay sharp," whispered the eldest brother, his eyes narrowed. "What if he's a poacher or worse?" The younger brother knocked his knuckles together nervously, willing himself to remain calm. They could hear snippets of conversation below, but they couldn't make out the words. When they finally saw the trapper gently tending to their sister, their grip on the rifles loosened ever so slightly. Still, a protective instinct kept them poised for action. They understood that trust takes time, and until they knew more about this stranger, they would remain vigilant. The brothers exchanged glances, silently debating whether to step in or allow this moment to unfold. They knew their sister's safety was paramount, but so was the promise of loyalty that bound them all. As the trapper and cowgirl shared a moment of relief and connection, her brothers remained tense on the ridge above, their hearts racing. The eldest brother clenched his jaw, anger bubbling beneath the surface as he watched the stranger lean too close to his sister. "What does he think he's doing?" he muttered, his protective instincts flaring up. The younger brother's hands trembled around his rifle, eyes darting between the trapper's gentle actions and his sister's vulnerable state. "We should go down there," he urged, anxiety creeping into his voice. But the older brother held him back with a firm grip. "Not yet. We need to know if he's a threat first." With every passing second, tension hung thick in the air like a storm ready to break. The brothers exchanged worried glances, both feeling their anger rise at the thought of any harm coming to their sister. Memories of past dangers in the wild flooded their minds, hunters who had hurt animals and people alike without a second thought. They strained to hear their sister's voice as she spoke with the trapper, unable to make out what was being said but recognizing the warmth in her tone. Was she truly safe? Doubt gnawed at them even as they felt an urge to protect her at all costs. Finally, after one last glance at each other, they prepared themselves for action, ready to charge down from the ridge if things escalated. Their bond as brothers fueled their determination. No matter what happened next, they would not let anything harm her again. The trapper turned to face the cowgirl and her brothers, sensing the unease in their eyes. He raised his hands slightly, palms open, a gesture of peace. "I understand you're worried," he began, his voice steady and calm. "But I'm not here to harm anyone. I just happened to find your sister in trouble and wanted to help." The eldest brother narrowed his eyes but kept his rifle lowered, intrigued despite his mistrust. "How do we know you're telling the truth?" he challenged, his protective instincts still on high alert. The trapper took a deep breath, glancing at the cowgirl for support. "You can ask your sister," he replied earnestly. "She's safe now because I freed her from that bear trap. I've lived out here long enough to respect the land and its creatures, and I would never put anyone in harm's way intentionally." The cowgirl looked at her brothers, who seemed torn between skepticism and the earnestness of the trapper's words. "He's right," she spoke up, her voice a mix of trust and reassurance. "He saved me when I couldn't save myself." The younger brother finally spoke, his voice softer but still cautious. "If you really did help her, what else do you want?" With a nod of understanding, the trapper replied, "I just want to make sure she gets back home safely. If you let me help, I promise to respect your family and keep her protected." The tension in the air slowly began to ease as they considered his words, realizing that trust might be built if they chose to let their guard down just a little. As the trapper spoke, the tension began to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. The cowgirl's brothers exchanged cautious glances, their grip on their rifles gradually loosening. The eldest brother felt a shift in the air. There was something genuine in the trapper's demeanor that sparked a flicker of understanding. He lowered his rifle slightly, finally recognizing that the man before them had acted out of kindness, not malice. "All right," he said, his voice steadier now. "If you really want to help her get home safely, then we can talk." He glanced at his younger brother, who nodded in agreement, still wary but willing to give the trapper a chance. The trapper smiled gently, sensing that walls were beginning to come down. "I'm here to make sure she gets back in one piece. You have my word," he assured them, his tone sincere. With a slight nod of respect, both brothers lowered their rifles fully, signaling a tentative alliance. In that moment of newfound trust, it became clear that they were all part of the same team, united by the desire to protect the cowgirl and support one another in navigating the wild. The brothers could see how relieved their sister was, and they realized that sometimes alliances are forged in the most unexpected circumstances. As they stood together on that ridge, an unspoken bond grew between them all, built on mutual respect and the urgent need for teamwork in a world where danger lurked around every corner. Each man felt a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the air between them now less tense, the cowgirl smiled at both her brothers and the trapper. "I'd like you to meet each other properly," she said, stepping forward. Her brothers exchanged glances but nodded, their curiosity winning over their caution. "This is my sister Ella," the trapper introduced himself, gesturing towards the cowgirl. "And I'm called Jack." He extended his hand toward the brothers. "I'm glad to have met you both today." The eldest brother hesitated but eventually reached out to shake Jack's hand, recognizing how their fates had intertwined in a moment of danger. "I'm Jake," he said firmly. The younger brother followed suit, shaking Jack's hand with a hesitant smile. "And I'm Tommy." Ella watched the exchange with delight, feeling an unexpected warmth fill the space around them. "Jack helped me when I was in trouble," she explained further. "He saved me from that bear trap and made sure I was okay." As they spoke, Jake and Tommy began to see that Jack was not just a stranger. He was a kindred spirit who understood the wild and its perils as well as they did. Their initial mistrust transformed into respect as they discussed their experiences in the wilderness. Tales of survival, misadventures, and lessons learned. In that moment, an alliance blossomed between them. They were no longer just a cowgirl and her protective brothers or a lone trapper. They had become a team, bonded by courage and mutual respect for one another's strengths, and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead together in the vast wilderness that surrounded them. As the sun began its descent, casting a warm glow over the mountains, the trapper, cowgirl, and her brothers stood together, reflecting on their incredible adventure. What started as a day filled with fear transformed into one of cooperation and newfound friendships. Each person learned invaluable lessons about bravery in the face of danger. The cowgirl felt a surge of gratitude towards Jack, whose quick thinking saved her life, while the brothers realized that their protective instincts could sometimes overshadow the potential for trust and connection. They marveled at how quickly they had transitioned from strangers to allies, finding common ground in their love for the wilderness and shared experiences. Each story told around the fire that evening knitted their bond tighter as laughter echoed in the valley. They understood that working together was not only essential for survival but also enriching for their souls. As night fell, they felt hopeful about what lay ahead. The mountains would always hold challenges, but they would face them as a team, ready to support one another in times of need. This unexpected friendship blossomed among them, an alliance forged in hardship but strengthened by understanding and respect. In life's unpredictable journey, it is often through danger and uncertainty that the most meaningful connections are made. While each character returned to their lives when morning came, they carried with them both the memory of their adventure and the promise of enduring friendship in their hearts.